Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing? This snack is a meal. Welcome.
Welcome to Snack.
Just put this in there before it gets really crazy. Um, thank you all for coming once again to Politics and Wellness with your first host, Captivating Christian, and
Your second host, MrCredentialed.
all right. So, before we actually get started into everything, I just have a few things I want to address. Let me be very clear. Someone had reached out to me, and I'm not going to name no names, so you can take your inferences and kind of put the clues together. But someone reached out to me, and being positive, of course, as I try to be, because as my friends know, sometimes I could get down with it if you make me mad enough. However, you know, I was basically trying to be as positive as I can. Like, hey, I know that people may not see it for you. And if you're tired of them laughing at you, maybe, you should elevate yourself so they're laughing with you. And we went on to, somewhat have a bit of a dialogue about, things change to kind of make people warm up or show people maybe a different thing about you. And basically, you are doing right now exactly what they say you are. You are answering to what they call you. And I just think you do yourself a disservice when you do that. Yeah, everybody's not going to accept your apology. Everybody's not going to see it for you because of what you've done. But the best thing you can do is continue to be greater than what they see you as, because everybody's not going to see you as great. Everybody's not going to see you as moving forward. But if you concern yourself with that and what they see and how they think of you, you will still and always remain exactly where you are. You will never get any further than you're going right now. So if you're trying to really grow and actually step into a different realm, then you got to be different. You cannot step into any realm being the same person. Hell, you got to die in order to see God. So clearly, you have to step out of yourself, okay, and what people know of you to transform into something else. So you will not grow continuing being where you are. Now, as far as you kind of calling people out and saying people are scared of you or scared to come over to your channel or to your place, absolutely not the truth. However, there are far more things more important. I don't answer to that. When I drop down in someone's chat, when I address something, it's because it's something that's directly important to me. And I feel like it's important not to let any other narratives that don't, any other kind of things let out that aren't factual. Because people, believe it or not, the same people that watch you and watch many other content creators kind of believe or fall in line with what you say. So when you send out things that are not correct, it causes problems that sometimes don't have to be. So with that said, all right, with that said, I am not going to say anything else. I am going to move on with the show. Welcome to everybody who is here.
Yes, welcome.
is going on. There's a little bit of politics happening and some wellness. But as I said that, I will let Mr. Credential take it from here because maybe he can handle this whole mental health thing and wellness. Because I personally, I'm here for it because I.
I'll
So
take my cue from there.
yeah.
Thank you very much. So, based on that introduction, I'm going to go ahead and with the first thing that we're going to discuss tonight in regard to mental health is how to conduct yourself in public places with respect to mental health and the mental health of other people. It is not my place or anyone else's place to project what you think, what you feel, and what you believe to be true onto other people as if it is Bible. It is not appropriate, it is not fair, and whatever you have going on within yourself, it's never okay to project that into the street. So when we come out into the public eye with that, we need to be mindful of what we're projecting in the atmosphere that we're creating into other people or projecting onto other people because you don't want to do that. It's not healthy. Sometimes you need to take a few minutes to breathe. Sometimes you need to take a few minutes to rethink and figure out what's going on inside of you that's causing you to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with and the way that you're dealing with it today. Because I'm saying a lot of things on YouTube and off YouTube that's based upon the fact that people do not take pride in self evaluation.
Very true. Very, very true. I'd like to welcome everybody to Cap Hill. Welcome to Crackhead Willie, Jay Parrish, Haitian Princess, of course,
Yes.
Snacks the Mill again, Jin Goddess, Nate. How you doing, brother? Welcome. Patty Duke, his sister. Welcome. Christian Demand. Okay. I have my own troll now or something.
Yeah, clearly.
Right. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
But
welcome
yeah,
everybody.
it's very important and it's very vital. I think it's I mean it's really ridiculous. I
Let's
don't
put it let's put it this way. When I was growing up, there was a song that my grandmother used to listen to. And it's we're gonna take the religion out of it. We're just gonna take the lyrics and it was
right,
sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine.
right,
And
right.
if you do that, you're too busy sweeping. You don't have time to project nothing on nobody else, to lie or to even speak a bad thing on somebody's name when you're too busy sweeping around your own front door.
Right, because your purpose should be making sure that, your stuff is right.
Yes. And if you're doing that, if you know how much work it takes to work on yourself, why would you want to hurt somebody else? I just don't understand that the repetition in it and doing the same thing with the same person over and over again and becoming in such a state of psychosis that you don't even realize you're sick.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, that is true. Bird, how you doing?
Welcome, Bird Bird. Hey, it's sister. Hey, Jay Parrish.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some politics real quick. So,
Okay.
just not too long ago, Roger Stone, who is a personal friend of Donald Trump, who was
Hmm.
involved in the Russia email dropping, WikiLeaks, and all that. The prosecutors actually for New York had suggested 7 to 9 years in prison.
Mm.
However, the Justice Department, Attorney General William Barr, had just said that they will not um, select the recommendation from these prosecutors, that they will, however, push for uh, probation
Hmm.
instead of prison. Um, and this so much so angered the prosecutors that two of them have resigned.
Wow.
So we are getting to a place where law does not matter for
Yes.
some. It matters
Yeah.
for us, but it doesn't matter for some.
Yeah.
So I think we need to start really paying attention to what's going on because what's happening, or what's about to happen, and what seemed to be coming down the pike, is that the laws will matter to you. You will be in jail, prosecuted, and all these other things for anything or any kind of injustices that you may do or that they
Right.
may find unjust on your end. However, they can get away with it.
Right.
I think
Right.
it's a bad place we're putting our government in. It's a bad place where it's a bad kind of uh, state of symbolism we're sending to the rest of the world.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just think it's bad all around. So definitely, please, please, please pay attention. As of right now, New Hampshire is doing their uh, primary voting,
Mhm.
and so far it looks like it's probably going to be between uh, Sanders, uh, Buttigieg, and Warren. Joe Biden has already left the state and is headed down to South Carolina for Super Tuesday, where he plans to actually win because, of course, there's a large minority voting population down there, which he is sure or is assured to win. But
Mhm.
you never know until it happens. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, if he does, excuse me, if he doesn't win this Super Tuesday coming up, then I think, yeah, it's not looking good for Joe.
Right.
So
Right.
that's all I have for right now as far as political
Okay.
stuff.
Well, I have a question, something I think we could all benefit from. Is there anything, or what is something rather, that we can do right now, aside from voting, to try to combat some of the injustices that are happening?
Unfortunately, I mean, there's not much you can do to combat all the stuff that is like coming down the pike from the Justice Department and stuff like that. Well,
Hmm.
you can call your congressman or your congresswoman, and they may be able to um, send your grievances, of course, as it goes through the channels to the investigators, because they have a committee that they answer to, a judicial committee who does the review of the Justice Department. So they do have someone that they answer to. However, um, you know, they still have to go through Congress. So they have to
Okay.
go through the Senate, through the judicial oversight, and then the Senate has an oversight. And being that
Okay.
the Senate is highly more Republican than anything, they could still have that wall of protection.
Yeah. 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 But I thought that was a good question because some people may want to do something. They may want to take action outside of voting and just be feeling frustrated and want to do something. So I thought that was a good one.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, my problem with the candidates is that we have this Democratic kind of elite that feel like they're supposed to win, like because
Hmm.
they're popular and their name is recognition. Hillary did the same thing. Biden's kind of doing the same thing. And it's like, no, just be a candidate, okay? Be a candidate, have your issues, put it out
Right.
there, and then
Right.
see what happens.
Right.
Because now you're starting to see a bit of like shock because people are not voting for you as you thought they would. Coming into it, yeah, they were hyping you up like, oh, yeah, you're the front runner.
Right.
You let Trump put this stuff out about your son and you didn't address it. So then you had people, okay, some mostly of them, looking
Hmm.
at it like, well, maybe you did do something crooked. Instead of reading this stuff yourself, it's public knowledge. Yeah, it doesn't look appropriate,
Right.
but was there anything legal done? No. But then ask yourself, if you were a part of maybe not even the United States, but was in some place of authority, and your son had a job, but he could do much better, or your daughter had a job, but he could do much better, and their potential and what they're capable of,
Right.
and
Right.
you had a way to either get them to interview with another job or to seek a better position, would you then kind of talk to whomever or use your influence to get your child a job? I mean, we've done it with schools. My
Yeah.
mother did it. My mother
Yeah.
with high school, although I wasn't the high school of my choice. But my brother, quick story, my brother was doing summer school at my high school that I wind up attending, but I wanted to go to a law and government high school.
Mm-hmm.
So every summer school has different principals. Like the whole thing is different. Like they have a set of principals, they have teachers and everything, and they may not teach at that particular school, some of them. And it just so happened that the principal for that summer school at that school happened to be a principal from my brother's high school.
Okay.
And my mother was definitely the type that she'll pop up at your school. You won't know it. Your teachers won't know it. And they'd be like, "How you didn't tell us
Right.
your mother was coming?"
Right.
Oh
Right.
my God. They'd be just as scared as you would be. But she would do that quite often. So he knew her, very well. So she's like, "Oh, I want my son wants to go to this school, but I want him to go to this school." And so he worked it out. And next thing I know, I got papers in the mail like, "Oh, you're going to this school, your orientation, your test is this day, your orientation is this day." And I'm just like, but I didn't even apply. If I did apply, I think it was like the last on the list. It wasn't even close
Right.
to my top. So yeah. I say all that to say that parents will push their children or usher their children into situations that may be good for them.
Right.
I mean, it's a bad thing. I don't know. It depends. Yeah, sometimes it could look shady depending on your position. But I mean, if that's the case, we can look at this current president. His sons both worked under his business and they use taxpayer money to pay themselves. So, I mean, you got a daughter who is getting every kind of trade pattern from China to Timbuktu to make clothes
Right.
still coming out of the White House. So there's a lot of everybody's making money in that place, but we're focusing on the wrong things. You're sitting here talking about Joe Biden's son. Like that's irrelevant right now.
Right.
You're either going to talk about Joe Biden, the candidate, or move on. Like,
Right. Right.
I
I
mean,
agree with that.
nothing more to do.
I do. Before we move on, I want to go back a little bit. You probably have to scroll up, but a sense of says it's her first time with you, and she's listening in the background. So I didn't want to let you miss that.
Excuse me.
So, welcome to the chat. Asana, a sense of welcome, Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince. Hey, how you doing?
I'm looking
And
for.
Chocolate Bay, Teneri K.
Hey, Chocolate Bay, Teneri K, how you doing? Is today your day today? Because I have different days with my YouTube girlfriends. I have different days. I don't. I was just
Right,
told
right.
that I was on a list day, so I got to make sure I don't want to be shouting nobody out, get in trouble.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
hey, Purple Power.
Hey, Purple Power.
Welcome to anybody new to the channel. I didn't catch it. I was looking through the thing. I scrolled all the way up, but I didn't see it. But
Okay.
excuse me for missing you. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but welcome. Hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave it in the chat. If I don't see it right away, I will scroll and get back to it. But yeah, but thank you for coming. What
Oh, no problem.
these key grades for hiring certain classes of people. If you need a job, fill out anything you care to. How did you choose something on the class and get that money? Right, exactly. It's a snack, definitely. I will actually put that in the thing because I think that's good.
Yeah, yeah. That is definitely good info. A snack, a meal.
Yeah, exactly. Ivanka Trump is getting all these jobs for everyone, but too bad they're all in China. Exactly. Exactly. And selling your clothes. Like you're selling your clothes and your products as you go. Anytime you're shown on TV, they are selling your products same
Right.
time. So you're making money hand over fist. So why are we sitting here talking about Hunter Biden when the president and all of his children are making money, and
Right.
we're flipping the bill for it because they're sending Secret Service agents to not a hotel where they could be close to the airport access, anything like that. No, if there's
Hmm.
a pump hotel anywhere near in the facility, 20 miles, 30, 40, 50 miles, whole hour and change away, they will send them there.
Right. Right.
And they don't pay that bill. They send that bill right to the taxpayer.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's going to be a big, hefty bill when all this is over. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
not even going to be pretty.
Yeah. Most definitely. Right. So bringing back a little bit more
Mhm.
into some mental wellness, want to speak on finding a balance in wellness and obligation, and it's how vital it is for our stability to be able to handle our obligations. We often get caught up in a week of stress or in a week of do this and do that, and we often don't take times out to actually breathe, to actually regroup, and to find a balance between some trying to find peace or maybe being a little bit happy, maybe going to visit a friend. Just finding balance in your life between the things you have to do, need to do, and want to do, just to stay grounded, because sometimes we just get too overwhelmed. Life can consume us, and we forget that we haven't had a second to have a me time, a me moment, or
Mhm.
maybe an us moment with you, or maybe friends or significant other, whoever.
Right.
Just being mindful of a balance of your life and the things that you need to do and have to do and want to do, and trying to fit a little bit of all of it into it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's highly important to have that balance. I think it is definitely very important. I try to take some time to have that balance and visit, of course, one of my closest friends here.
Hmm.
Um, we cut up for a little bit, but then
Yeah,
too, I like to have my space too. So
right. Of course. Of course. Space
sometimes,
is vital so you can have time to regroup and just be yourself. Let
right,
your
right,
head
you kind of
down.
recenter and get yourself, yeah,
Right, right.
because
If
a
you're
lot of,
giving away too much of yourself, you have nothing left to give, and then you're running on E.
yeah,
No good.
yeah,
No good at all.
that is very true. I'm just laughing at sorry, Kay. Sorry.
Sassy Queen says she tries to have me time at least
Yeah, I was
twice
just
a month.
I was just
Yep.
looking at. Mm-hmm.
And it's good to do that. Sometimes me time may be going to sneak a candy bar in the room and be quiet for a minute. Whatever
Yeah, no, that's true.
whatever
That
makes
is
you
true.
happy.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be going out and spending um, finances. It could just be watching your favorite movie. I mean, I know for me, sometimes me time could be like watching. I was a big musical kind of watcher kid. My brother would call it fairy tales. He'd be like, "Mom, you ain't watching fairy tales." Like they're not fairy tales. Okay, get
Right.
over it. It's the word. Get your life.
Right,
Um,
right.
so like I would watch that if I just felt like getting into a space where it was, kind of letting go. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Antoinette Herrera said, I agree. Finding balance is very important. Oh, sorry, it scrolled on me.
oh,
Okay. Finding balance is
it's
very
right there in the
important.
thing. It's in the thing if you
Got you.
can.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you don't, you will find yourself going crazy. Like I tell my family, I need me time. Exactly. Let me
Mhm.
breathe and move on.
Right.
Mogi 6029, I'm not sure who you're talking about, but even if you're talking about one or the other or both of us, thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love.
Where are you seeing that?
It's
You.
above, it's right below Antoinette Herrera's comment. She said, "You're awesome. Keep
Oh,
going,
okay.
young man." Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
cool.
His sister said, easier, I guess, said than done when you're taking care of the only one taking care of yourself. It is easier said than done. Trust me. You're preaching to the choir, and I am part of the issue with myself. That's why I'm projecting it, because I know I need to do better with it. Sometimes we think of these grandiose ways that we need to accommodate ourselves, and it's just the little thing. You
Okay.
know,
I'm sorry. Sorry to
no,
cut
go
you.
ahead.
No. Go ahead, finish your
Oh
thoughts.
yeah, we just think that everything has to be done on a grandiose level, and sometimes it's just the little things that can help to revamp our mind and just get us to hold on just a little bit longer as we go through the week. We have our stressful times and we do want to snap, and that's just realistic with anybody, no matter what you're going through in life. Um, Patty Duke said,
Oh, I
if,
just want to answer one question before
"Oh,
we.
go ahead, go ahead."
Lady Linda, thank you for dropping down in the chat. And I appreciate your subscription. Hopefully, you enjoy the content. My thoughts on Bloomberg's growing support in the black race, it's two-sided. One, it's because of the money. He's running. There's an ad every time I watch TV. There's a Bloomberg ad, and Bloomberg has yet to be on any platform in a debate, and that's because of his money. Two, a lot of people don't know are unaware of his stop and frisk program that
Mm,
affected a lot of black and brown people in this city of New York.
mhm,
So that's where a lot of the support, the rising support is coming from. And two, I think a lot of it is inflated, to be honest. Um, it's too early. And if people don't like the candidates they see already, if they see another candidate, that's all it is. It's just like if I play something on the radio long enough, even though you may hate the song, you'll start humming to it. You'll
right.
start singing the lyrics like, I don't like that song, but you start, you're like, oh, it's in my
Mhm,
head. So it's
mhm,
kind of the same thing. He has not been yet before in any debate, but his commercials are nonstop. Um, and people are secure in a billionaire or somebody with money running the country because to some of them, they figure, well, they were able to make money. They know how to finance it or manage it. So they would be good for the country. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes a lot of rich people have other people running their finances.
true,
I'm not saying him, but I'm saying look at our current president.
true,
He made his money off of selling his name, not of actually doing business deals.
right.
He'd run into something, put his name on it, get it popular enough to where
Mhm,
people would throw some money in it, take his money and leave. He's never been a person of growing a business from the ground up. I mean, he didn't even grow the business that he has. His father grew that.
right, right.
Grew that. So,
Yeah,
and his father left people in charge who knew how to grow it, who knew how to continue to let it grow. He just, he got the spoils of it all. Excuse me,
yeah,
I dropped my phone. But he got the spoils of it all. So, it's a kind of a brainwash mentality that we have with people who have wealth, thinking that, oh well, they made it. Yeah, they made it, but to a degree.
right, right.
Mhm.
And the question is, what are you willing to do to make it into whom?
Right, and again, I say this all the time when there when we do get down to the final candidates, even if there are some candidates now that you kind of don't know, find the ones that have programs that you are really into and stick to that program. I said it once before. We,
Right,
get so caught up in, oh, I don't like none of these candidates, so I'm not going to vote. You don't say that when you buy a car. You don't say that when you buy a house. You,
right,
you may not like the car overall, but it could be something that the only one you could afford the payments on a month.
right,
Okay, but
right.
you find something in that car that you like to drive off that lot with it.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
make
I
it
mean,
work.
it's the same thing. You make it work.
Right,
So I don't think we should, totally turn our back or be totally like, oh, I'm not voting for none of these people. Nope, nope, nope. If it comes down to it, and it happens to be one of the candidates that we don't necessarily favor, I would rather that than to have another 4 years of a lawless, not only president, but a lawless administration where the only laws that matter are the laws that affect us.
right.
Okay, because his budget cuts, I don't know if anybody watched my newsreel, I think the other day, his budget cuts, he's cutting millions of dollars from Medicaid and Medicare. So
Mm-hmm.
those of us who are senior citizens, or if you have family members on some sort of disability, they're cutting all of that. Even people who are having some kind of disability due to something at work or whatever the case may be, they are
Right.
really cutting away at a lot of it. And
Right.
the programs that are getting more funding are programs that we don't necessarily NASA and the Space Force. Like,
Right.
what the hell are we doing? Like, come on, this is not Hollywood.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, Hollywood. Now, if
Exactly.
they some aliens come and attack us, then maybe we could talk about a space force. But I
Right.
mean, just so you can play around like with a toy, like as if we're playing, Moon Men or something. Come on,
Right.
people are suffering, dying. Coronavirus. He talking about some. It'll clear up once the weather warms up. Idiot. It is from eating.
Foolish.
It's from
Foolish.
eating a particular type of food or
Right.
delicacy that people. It has nothing to do with like
The
catching a
weather.
cold, flu,
Exactly.
like flu virus. It has flu-like
Exactly.
symptoms, but it is not.
It's not derived that way. Exactly. Hey, Rebel. Yeah,
Hey,
and
Rebel, what's up?
it is so important for you to get out here and vote
Hey, what's up, Absolute?
because the things that you don't vote, if you don't vote so that your vote can be counted, it'll still be counted anyway. So why not make it your selection, your personal choice of who you want to get into office? Why
Right,
not do that?
exactly. Exactly. But that's all I have to say about that. So you can go if you have something else.
Okay, I did. I do want to go back a little bit because I think we may have missed some things. I'm not sure, but if I missed anyone, I will say a general hello to anybody that we have missed. Welcome and thank you for coming through.
Please do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next thing that I'll talk about is about happiness, and sometimes we look for happiness in things and
When you
people.
said that
We
song
look
popped
for
in my head.
happiness in money, huh?
No, I said when you said happiness, the song popped in my head. Let's get
Oh.
happy, clap along. That's my thing.
Yeah, we look for happiness attached to something. And I mean, something dealing with happiness is always not attached to something. Sometimes it's just a personal thing. Happiness is not necessarily in someone else, it's not in your relationship. We can't have that expectation that something or someone is going to bring us happiness. We have to be on our own quest within ourselves to find out what makes us happy so that whenever someone does something extra, it's considered a bonus. You know, you can
Hmm.
love someone else's love easier if you already love yourself. But if you don't like yourself, you are not going to be able to accept the love that someone else brings. At least treat them properly in the process. So
Hmm.
it's important to go in a personal quest, a self quest for happiness, so that you can know where you stand and who you stand with, so that when you go out and seeking someone else, your physiology will tell you when they are not the right person to be around.
Hmm.
When you're grounded and doing your work, you will know when you are amongst someone who you're not supposed. Your spirit will tell you, and it's not even attached to religion. You will just feel it within yourself that it's not right. You know, self self validation is important, rebel son. But the problem is some of us get too much of it, a little too much, and once we validate ourselves too much, nobody can tell us anything differently than what we believe. And sometimes we do stand to be corrected. And that's something that we need to remember when we're going through things and hearing things from people. If you hear the same thing over and over and over again, consider the fact that there may be some validity to it.
Hmm.
So
But
that is what I really wanted to extend on that note.
yeah.
Just knowing how to navigate in situations is the best thing. So developing a coping mechanism or a strategy of coping with certain situations that you face often is how you can then get through.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And how should I say this? I make it a point to not project my unhappiness
Hmm.
onto others.
Right.
Because one, I personally feel it's not fair. It's like ain't nobody asked, that's like you going, here you go to somebody, and they're like, oh, thanks, I ain't ask you.
Right. Right.
That's how I look at it. So sometimes
Exactly.
I have to make sure I check myself when I'm around people, when I go around people, not to be all extra happy and bubbly or whatever, because that's not
Right.
actually accurate, but to be more in tune with, okay, check it, it's not the person's fault, so don't project that to anyone else. Make sure
Right.
handle it appropriately. And I
Yeah.
think too, it's about a lot of times. This is just about taking accountability. It's
Yeah.
not about nobody saying um, you can't do this or you can't do that, but it's like being accountable for your actions.
Exactly.
You've done it, you did it, all right. You say what you need to say, and you move on, but you unable to move on still doing the same things. It's almost like, again, like it says, you know you do something and you turn away from it and do it no more.
Right.
It's the same thing. Yes, it's a process and it doesn't happen overnight, but you still have to go through it. You still gotta, you have to make that effort to try to be like, okay, well, if I really want to turn away from this, then I need to do this.
Right. 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 Antoinette Herrera said the truth is a lot of people don't know what true happiness looks like. And the fact is that is true. However, I will say that true happiness looks different for everyone. Like what makes me happy and what I do to become happy or who makes me happy may not make you happy. So
Right,
happiness looks different in everyone's life and they just don't know
right.
how to identify it and extract that to see that all the things that they want around them, they just don't know how to appreciate them.
Right. Well, I mean, jealousy and that envy and all that plays a part in that too, which is ridiculous because what exactly makes you happy may not make me happy. So the fact that you're happy, instead of me being happy for you and supporting you in your happiness, I don't need to be jealous of you and your happiness because what's for you is for you.
Right,
Your happiness, your place that you're in is for you. And when I get to that place where I feel that happiness for me and I'm proud of all the things that's coming my way, it's for me. So why not?
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Why not support that instead of, you looking, I don't know, down and crazy at people like
Yeah,
it's
you know, and you got to watch how you look at other people and judgment of their situations and who they are and how they react to things. Because if you're not doing something to help them, then you're making a judgment, and it's not fair to make judgment upon people unless you're doing something to help them. And even when you are helping them, you still shouldn't judge them. It's not your place,
right.
to
Right.
publicly project your judgments on someone else as if someone else is supposed to believe you. What makes you so great that I should believe you about your opinion about someone else? How's that
Right.
fly?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Snack says, "Who's this wise bearded man?" Mr. Credential the snack. Come on over, check me out, and you'll find out more about me. That's all I can say.
Right. What's
But yeah,
me? Yeah. And I do too. I try to back away from negative energy, but sometimes negative energy does present itself and you can't always, well, I don't always shy away from it. Sometimes I'll be like, well, I know my light is greater than your negative energy. So I'll raise you. I'll
right,
raise you to positives on your negative. Try me.
right,
Yeah,
right,
but sometimes, yeah, if it's too much and too murky and too messy, definitely I do stay away from it. But for the most part, it's like a lot of times people do some of the negativity just for show. Um,
right, right, right.
and it was like, it's just an act.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have time for acting. You want to act? Take an acting class and actually go do it.
right, right.
How you doing, this smart show? Nice to see you.
Hey, welcome to Smart Show.
He said, some people, some people are energy vampires. They are. Um,
That is so true, Rebel.
right.
So true.
Yeah, but then you have to know that's when you knowing yourself is really important because then you know how much to give and how much to just back away and be like, you know what, I cannot deal.
Right, right. That's true, sister. My thing is that you never know where life is going to take you, and the same place you're looking downward could be the place that you become to reside. So you have to be careful when you're frowning your face and you're looking down on people because you don't know what they're going through that got them where they are. The next, it should be, how can I help you? Not how can I give you money and fix your life because that's not your job. How can I help you?
Right, right,
Some people just want to be heard. They never had anybody to ask them that before. You'll change their life just that one question.
right, exactly. And yeah, and that a lot of times that's truly what it is. You have to realize that some people really have not been heard, really have really been treated a certain type of way, and it's like they look for people to pay attention to them. So they figure in acting out, you are paying attention because you're drawn to why they doing it. Oh, that's crazy. Why they, And it's like sometimes if you really just sit back and just be like, hey, brother, sister, whomever, why why do why are you doing that? Why
Right,
you don't have to act that way? You don't have to do that. You don't have to display yourself in that manner.
right, right.
Because it's really not doing anything for you in a positive light
Yeah,
or in a light that's elevating to where you trying to be. It's
right.
all it's doing is holding you back. And don't get me wrong, and no offense to anyone, but a lot of us will hold each other back because we like that place that you're at. We like
Mm-hmm.
that place where it's funny, it's this, it's that. We like that. Um and sometimes, hey, you got to let them people go, or you just have to move forward, and those who appreciate it and those who are willing to understand where you're going in your journey will move with you. Those who won't.
Right, right,
Everybody's not going to be with you when you get to where you need to be.
right.
Everybody's not. It's just fact of the matter.
Yep, yep. That's facts. Somebody said something to me one time and it stuck with me, and every time I think about it, it just makes me go, hmm. Is
Hmm.
that you wouldn't deal with someone unless you were getting something from it.
Right.
So oftentimes we say, I don't like them, they make me sick, but it's something that's causing you to hold on to that relationship with that person, but you just need to figure out why.
Hmm.
Once you know why, you can either act on it or figure out how to start working on letting it go. But you won't hold on to something if it does you no use.
Yeah, that's true. I know for me, it was always, and sometimes it still is, like that helping spirit. Like, oh, I can help you. I can show you the way. Like, just like if you just do this, this out.
Yeah,
I had to be like,
helping spirits can be devils and the
yeah,
enemy in disguise.
yeah, that's true. Too.
So that
So,
helping spirit to get you stuck, boy.
yes, I like, you know what? Yeah, no. Here's my advice. You can take it if you want to. That's about as much as I can give you.
Right,
You
right.
pick. Bye.
Yeah, it's sometimes people will do things to you, and then when you respond to what they do, they'll flip it and act like you did something to them. What kind of foolishness is that? That is some psychosis, psychotic, reverse psychology crap if I ain't never seen
Mm, not if you ain't never seen it though. Sound
it.
like
You don't play around with nobody like that.
right. That is true. It's true.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's a good point, Antoinette. Doing a self-inventory is necessary. You need to know what you have. You need to know what you have inside. Sometimes we wake up and we're given more than we actually have to account for today, and we wind up drained. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's okay to say, no, I'm gonna have to pass on that today.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And sometimes you just got to say it to yourself.
Yeah,
Sometimes you got to say it to yourself. If you constantly around people that are constantly um, low in something, something's always wrong.
humdrum.
Something's
Yeah,
always this. Sometimes you just have to take some moments and just go. You know what? Don't pick up that phone. Don't you know?
yeah,
Don't go to that place where you know you're going to see that person because it then will um, bring you to a place.
yeah. Like Rebel said, energy vampires that suck it out of you. Yep.
Hey, boss lady, New Jersey, how are ya?
Hey, boss lady, how are you? Welcome, welcome.
I always love your. I just want to tell you, boss lady, New Jersey, You sound just like my aunt Cheryl, and of course, Captivating Christian will laugh if he once he checks you out because you do. You remind me so much of my aunt. When you talk, how you talk, everything you say. That's why I love going into your page and listening to all the things you say. So if you're not subscribed to Boss Lady New Jersey, please go do so. She is definitely awesome. She will tell it how it ti is, and I love it. I live for it.
Yeah, I did check her out. I just haven't had a chance to actually drop in. So next time she goes live or something, I'm probably gonna drop in on her. But she does sound like your aunt. Welcome to the chat, boss lady. Jimboski said a coworker once told me that they were waiting for me to go through something to see if it would shatter my happiness. I go through things, just don't project them. That's
Yeah,
a First of all, that's sad that they thought that they could sit and plot and wait for you to fail like that. That's number one.
I mean,
But
people do that they do.
they do it. They do it. I just thought that she would have been a little bit more quieter than about it. But since she wasn't, at least you know who you're working with. You know how to deal with her. But I hope that you know, Jimboski, that nobody has the ability or nothing has the ability to shatter your happiness. That's a choice. You go
Right,
there, and if you stay there, it's a choice.
right.
So
Yeah,
don't ever choose that. I know it's hard, but don't choose that.
yeah. That's definitely an allowance thing.
Yes,
Uh, you have to allow people to disturb your energy. You have to allow people to move and shake you. And if
yes,
if you're grounded, you don't nothing will. I mean, yeah, you can be upset at certain things, but then
right.
once you kind of let that go and vent that out, you shouldn't even like be concerned with it. It's just like taking a breath in and taking a breath out. Once I let it out, I'm done.
Yep. That's how it's supposed to be. Well, actually, let me say this. It's how it's supposed to be when you're making a conscious effort to work on it.
Right.
Those who are not doing the work and are not self-aware will not see that that's a viable option to handle things.
Very,
So
very much true.
you
That
got
is.
to keep that in mind because only people who are intelligent on that level are actually going to see it that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just looking to see if there was any news about this poll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Rebel said misery loves company. That's a old saying, but it's so true. So true on every day, every level of our lives. It's so true. You're welcome, Jimboski.
It does, but you don't have to be the company it keeps, though.
No, you don't. You don't. Again, if you are keeping this company, you have to figure out what do you like about it.
Hmm. Very true. No, no news.
Exactly, Mama Sammy. You control how your day goes. Nobody else.
Right. It's the same thing. It's almost like people say, "Oh, you control your destiny." In a sense,
You
you
do.
do.
It may not go the entire trip, may not go the way you planned it, but you
Right.
can still get where you want to go if you try.
Mm, definitely. Wholeheartedly. Is there anything else? There's no particular new thing coming on right now. So I was looking to see what the polls are saying, but nothing has popped up yet. I know they're talking about it. I hear it in my other room, but nothing has popped up as far as poll wise numbers.
Yeah.
Um, anybody have any questions, comments,
Yeah,
concerns?
please pop them in while we have the time. The Smart Show said we don't give people the power to control our mood. That's very true.
Right, right.
Very, very true.
Oh, we shouldn't. I'll say
We
that.
shouldn't. We do, but
Yes.
we shouldn't. It's like a smart car. Then we have to go and recharge. It might take longer than we have time before we have the next thing to do.
Yeah. And there's a book that talks about emotional intelligence that definitely talks about that controlling your mood, controlling um, how you feel, and making sure that you're listening to what the person is saying, and then you're waiting, and then you're responding, and kind of clearing the space so you can fully understand what the person is saying. And I think a lot of times
Very,
we don't do that.
very true. We listen to respond, not to understand.
Hey, Miss T Velocity, point two. That's another one who is definitely tells it like it is.
Okay, okay.
So if you're not subscribed, just a lot of these content creators, Rebel Sun, The Smart Show, Boss Lady New Jersey. Anybody in here who's a content creator, please put a 1 in the chat so those who aren't subscribed could go and check you out. I think
please do.
it's definitely very vital.
We all do something different and something great, so let's support each other.
Right, and we all have different avenues and different interests that that's important that somebody will find interest in. And I think it's a great idea that we definitely support each other. I mean, we might not always agree with what each other says,
right?
But we should always look to support each other. I think that is definitely important.
Agreed. Totally agreed. We can make so many things happen. As power in numbers.
Right.
Yep, I was reading what Antoinette Herrera was saying. And she just actually put up on the screen.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Well, yeah, I don't actually have that much more, but some people are popping things in that's kind of interesting here in the chat. So,
okay, well, if you see some, just let me know. I'm just scrolling through some stuff. Miss T Velocity today, she dropped some jewels on some stuff that's going on, of course, in the YouTube streets, which I necessarily won't speak upon, but
okay,
I will say it was good. I liked it, and so did Boss Lady New Jersey. The other day, I think it was yesterday or the other day. Excuse me but one of them days. Just check her out, and you should definitely see it. What she had to say was definitely dropping jewels on a lot of stuff that was going on in these quote unquote YouTube streets. But again, I think that it's important to look at everything. And yes, I know we get mad at certain things at moments, but there's always a reason to someone's actions. And we may not always agree with their actions, but there's a reason to why they took the action that they took.
Right.
Sometimes if we stop focusing on the action that they took and realize that, hey, somebody did something that caused that, and that's what happened. And then you're like, okay, I still may not think it's right, which is cool, but at least I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of being like, it came out of nowhere. Because nothing comes out of nowhere. People have, there's something that sparked in something that the person was like, you know what? I'm acting on this. I'm doing this.
Right. This week, over the last 2 weeks, I'll say, I had something happen to me that was totally against my living will, if you will. And it made me so upset. And I had no choice but to deal with it head on with the person because they made a comment to me that was very cold hearted. So I called them and found out that they really didn't even mean it. Well, so they say they didn't mean it the way that I took it. But even though it still shouldn't have been said, I had to have a forgiving enough heart to realize that everything isn't the way that it looks. And sometimes we need to take a second look, take a second step back, and really figure out what really been said. Is their heart and their body language matching what they said? Because people do make mistakes, and people do sometimes say things in the heat of the moment when they have too much on their plate. So did I give the person a full pass? No. But I have to understand, though, that life happens. So with that being said, I do want to say to people to not be so rigid, not be so jagged, because everyone is not really trying to stab you in the back. Some people are really innocent and they just may be doing something that happened to you before the same way. And it's presenting just like it happened to you before, but that's really just not the truth. So,
okay. Yeah, no, that's very true. I just got some breaking news from one of my Congress women. Of course, my moderator in the chat, Andrew Yang, has just suspended his campaign.
wow.
Andrew Yang, if you don't know, is the Asian candidate who was offering the $1,000 a month to every American.
Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Business owner. He has suspended his campaign as well. So now I believe it's only one person. well, there's nobody of color on the debate stage, of any kind of minority on the debate stage. However, there is still the one candidate out of Massachusetts. His name escapes me right now, but he's still running, but he hasn't made enough money to actually be on the debate stage or anything.
Okay, okay.
Hold on one second. I know his name. I do. If I don't, I know I have it. uh, but I know once I pull it up, I'll be like, yeah, I knew that. Excuse me, I have so many notes of so many people. Nope, that's Michael Bloomberg. Got him. Nope, not him. Not him. John Delaney, too, I heard dropped out of the race. John Delaney was the U.S. Congressman from Maryland's 6th District. I heard
Wow.
he dropped out about a week ago, actually. So people are dropping, but Patrick Duval, that's what it is.
Okay,
Former
okay.
governor of Massachusetts. He is African American. However, he hasn't made enough money to actually be on a debate stage. So
Okay.
that is the reason why. Hey, Reed, the Heart of Philadelphia. How you doing? Nice to.
Hey, welcome.
I love going to her chat. And Jay Dunn. Hey, how you doing? Love hanging out at Jay Dunn's too.
Hey, Jay Dunn. Hey, Travis Scott.
Hey, what's going, Travis Scott? How you doing? Definitely check out all these people. They definitely have great content. Travis Scott's kind of like, I think he thinks he's Tyler Perry or something. But he has great production stuff, and he's doing some writing, which I've read some of his bio stuff. It's really
Okay. Yeah, I'm grabbing them up as they come through because some of them I've not seen before. So I like
true.
interesting new things. So definitely grabbing you guys up as you come through.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, look at that. My congresswoman is definitely faster than my pop-up news because I just got the alert that Andrew Young has suspended his 2020 presidential candidate run.
Wow.
Thank you, Haitian princess, for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But yeah. I think that's all I have for right now. If
Yeah.
you have anything or anybody else have any other questions, I am here to answer.
Yeah, same thing for me. If you have anything mental health wise that you want to shoot at me, please feel free to do so.
Do I think Patrick is gonna make it? Um, Probably not. Uh, Only because Bloomberg actually entered into the race. Bloomberg was his support, his backing support as far as
Hmm.
money wise. So now that Bloomberg has entered the race himself, Bloomberg can't give him any, really throw him any finances. I mean, he can, he has a lot, but I don't think he will. So I don't think Patrick will be on the ticket too long. I think a lot of people just hang on just so whomever is chosen, they could be either vice president or someone in the cabinet. So I think at this point, a lot of people are shooting for cabinet positions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
those who have dropped out have probably been promised some sort of cabinet position from either candidate, and just waiting till everybody kind of gets down to those final, and then probably gonna promote and push for their particular candidate. But we'll,
Hmm.
it's still, and again, it's still early yet.
Right. Still got quite a few
Well,
months to make changes.
yeah, I mean, I agree. Bloomberg will shake things up, but I mean, I don't necessarily think it's in a good way. At this point, he's only apologizing for the stop and frisk program because of him running, and actually because of the outcry for it. Because again, when he ran before, they mentioned it, but it went away. It was never
Right.
a big issue. They didn't push for him explaining why he had this practice, which, to be honest, wasn't a practice that he necessarily started. It's the
Hmm.
same practice that Giuliani had um, for a while when he was doing his whole clean up Times Square type campaign. it was definitely very much a stop and frisk kind of agenda that he had with the Commissioner Kelly.
Mm.
However, then 9/11 happened and it became more of a security thing to do it. So it just changed the narrative and it was more like, oh, they're just doing it to make sure we're secure.
Right.
It
Right.
was the same thing. It was the same thing. And then just him being mayor for what, 3 terms, uh, definitely just took it a whole step further by placing the police in places of communities of color
Mm-hmm.
to, I guess, keep a very, I don't know, deep kind of stranglehold on the communities. I mean, they have it now. There's there's some areas in Queens where I am from and grew up
Mm-hmm.
have the whole spotlights and the police things and all that kind of craziness. And it was like, we've never had that
Yeah. Yeah.
in some of the neighborhoods. That so it's
Yeah. I think it's kind of promoting the wrong message, if you ask me.
yeah, it is because it promotes that same kind of idea that they have of us anyway. That we're all criminals. That we all commit uh, rude acts of violence and
Right.
things of that sort. When in actuality, they do it just as much as we do it, but they don't report it. And that's why
Yep.
I try to make it a point that when I'm looking for stuff to talk about, that I find a lot of stories with them in it. Just to know that hey, they do it. It's out.
Right.
It's
Right.
out. They don't want to project that because, of course, they're not gonna. And that's why I say it's important for us to know and to have control over what we project to people, because that's important. I mean, I used to watch BT Nightly News all the time. I thought it was great because it was no other news broadcasting that had us promoting our news, things in our communities that were happening that weren't all about crime and killing. Um, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
If you notice, if you really sit and watch the news, they don't. Very rarely do they talk about anything of their doing, where in which it's a mass murder, mass shooting, or anything like that. No, they'll quickly run and talk about down in
That's true.
Baltimore, down in Baltimore. Like example, and I meant to bring this up too earlier, but good thing I remember. So the corrupt cops that in Baltimore that were doing they had a police task force, like a gun task force, and what they were basically doing was shaking people down, taking money from drug dealers and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, there's about 12 people, right? Two
Mm-hmm.
white, supposedly all these black officers in the lineup for the for the pictures as far as for what they were going to promote on the TVs and the news. Front page, the
Mm-hmm.
two black officers. You had
Mm-hmm.
to open up the story or go down further on the internet in the story to actually see the other two white officers who are corrupt. Now to be very and hey El Teddy Shondo, how you doing? Um, and to be very clear about that whole situation and how even the police department works, there are a lot more people of the other in higher positions than it is people of color in law enforcement, period. Uh,
Right.
it's sad, unfortunate, but very true.
Right.
However, uh, I just, I'd be at a loss. Like, I really don't, you know,
Yeah.
are these the two, are these the two flunkies that you
Right.
got to take the fall so the top people won't be shown, because
Right.
they're quick to always put us involved in that. And
Right.
a lot of times, if you really knew the truth about it, some of them were made. I mean, granted, yeah, we all have a choice, but hey, if your boss is saying, hey, you don't do this, you're gonna lose your job, or we can plant stuff on you or all types of stuff because they know what goes on, they do it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's real.
It's crazy.
It's a
It,
lot deeper than.
yeah. Hey, El Teddy, before I let that slip, But this is what I don't understand. Somebody tell me what an angry black man looks like, or because explain that to me. Explain to me what an angry black man looks like. Because I don't understand. Because it's a lot of stereotypes, and people try to create these narratives about you or about people based upon who they think they are, based upon how they look, how they walk, how they talk. Why can't somebody from the hood look a certain way, dress a certain way, but have a clean record and be just as good as someone in the suburbs?
But then my question is, why can't they be angry? Why can't they be angry with the lack of resources, with the lack of support, with the lack of a whole lot of other things that other places get, whether they
Right,
need it or not.
right,
So it's like, yeah, some people are angry, and we have to stop trying to take that away from men and women alike and just like, oh, well, why are you angry? There's no reason to be
right,
angry. Who the hell says it's not?
right, right,
Who else says it's not? When people got to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make basic needs met. I
right,
mean, that's an issue. That's a problem. And to anybody, it will get to somebody eventually. It will
right,
make somebody feel like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Like, this is nothing's working, nothing's happening. Every time I try to reach for a goal, I can never reach it.
right. It's depressing, and it can put you in a state of doing the wrong things because you're trying to do the right things. It's not working, but that's still not the right answer,
She said, I had no idea, but I could tell you what a angry man.
though.
Right,
I saw that, but I was keeping a serious face because you were talking.
right. No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. But yes, Reed, I can tell you too what an angry white man looks like. They look quite orange.
You know what?
Did you see that though? He had like this whole outline of pale white skin.
Hmm.
I was like, come on, yo.
Yep.
You look crazy.
They got a shade of makeup just for him. It's called creamsicle.
Right, right. Not creamsicle. It's called Cheetos.
But yeah, that's all I have. I thank everybody for that feedback. Most definitely, you guys were definitely helpful with your contributions tonight.
Yeah, I will address this. You say you don't typically hear angry black men. You hear always angry black women in all groups of people in the community. Yeah, I mean you do, and that is because they get the brunt of everything. You get again the whole thing how thing works. It comes from the top. Then it's like the white man gives it to the white woman. Then the white woman gives it to and so on and so forth. And then so who's left down there is, the black woman, of course. So of course she has a lot to be angry about because not only is she's definitely not getting any support outside, but she's not even getting any support from her support system.
Right,
She should
right,
be.
right,
So yeah, of course she has every right to be angry. And we as men need to start again taking accountability for our actions or lack thereof,
right,
and stop being so like get over it, or uh, it makes you stronger. Um,
right,
yeah,
right. Read the Heart of Philadelphia said, "I don't think that our men are angry. I think that they're disappointed." I do. I do. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that. Mm. I think that we're disappointed because we don't have anything to look forward to. And because we hear a lot of negative talk about what men aren't doing, what men aren't helping with, we hear all the negative things, but what about for all the fathers who are present, who do have a few children and do not live with any of them, but take very good care that break their back for them. But if there's one for every five, or if there's 10 for every 40, those 10 carry the weight of the rest of them. If there's 10 good guys for every 40 bad guys, we still carry the weight because we still get stereotyped underneath of the stereotype of the other men.
Yeah, because you'll praise the other men that don't do nothing.
Yeah,
In a way, not praise them necessarily, but they get more talked about. They get more of the,
yeah,
they get
yeah,
more when you looking at it like all men are like that. And it's like, no, there are some good men out there.
right,
There are
right.
definitely some great men out there.
And you have to realize also that everybody that looks like they're popping are not popping. It's a look. So if you always gotta look like something in front of a camera when you go out every weekend, what are you spending your money on? Because I know as an adult, the older I get, the less I have time to spend money on what I want to spend it on.
I'm just saying. I'm,
So I'm just trying to understand, the Gucci and the Prada and the this and the that. Come on.
I mean, I don't understand that.
But yeah. But I agree. We do have to speak goodness into existence, and we do need to, regardless of our reasoning for having our ill feelings, to speak positivity and wellness out there anyway. I do agree with that. We need to keep reinforcing that regardless of what's going on, because it's the only way to recreate a new pattern is to start.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely.
So,
Yeah, like I always say, change starts from within. So if you want to see
yes,
change, you got to be that change.
yes, very much so. Yeah, we do. We need to stop aiding it, Miss Velocity. We do, you know. But it sometimes we love the wrong things, and loving the wrong things helps us to present those things as the right things to love, and it's not. That's jewels for some people. That's cars. That's flashing the cash. You got a book of 20s, but where's your bank account? So those are the things that we need to be. Politics are lit. Mental health is lit. We need to make the right things lit and the wrong things a little bit more dim.
Right, that's true. Or or bring reality to those things, like what certain rappers and certain rap artists and things glorify are not real.
Right, right,
That's the truth of the matter. They
exactly.
rent a lot of these things. They don't own a lot of these things. A lot of these things are bought by a record company, and they go, "Here you go." And by the way, when they be looking, thinking, "Oh, I went platinum and double platinum," and they waiting for that check, and that check come back, and it's a couple $1,000, a couple $1,000,000. They go, "Oh yeah, that house you wanted, those
Right.
clothes you got, all them clothes, yeah, we fronted that. So here you go.
Yep.
Hopefully on this next album you'll make it double platinum, and then that money you can keep, or you want to go on tour, you can do a tour."
hmm
So
Nothing comes free of price in your life. Anything that's free, you need to give it the side eye, the stop sign, and the question,
all
because
the time,
nothing is free.
all the time. Hey, punitive damage, how you doing? Nice
Hey,
to
punitive.
see you. um a lot of men, but a lot of women look, or men give money short term. Right, right, that is definitely very true. Very true. Amen to that. You serving it. You can help people one person and our job is not. That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can just there's a song that my grandmother likes. Um it's something about if you can help somebody along the way, that your living is not in vain. But that is very true. Like it don't
hmm
take a whole lot of people. Just one person. You can affect one person. You think about the teachers that have touched you in a way throughout your educational, career, so to speak,
Yes.
that pushed you to do something, or to have a different idea, or to pursue something further. Uh,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yep. Yep. I actually inboxed one of my teachers from junior high school about how good she was to me then, and of course she didn't respond, but I saw she read it.
It fell out.
Huh?
No, I was just saying. Let me put my hair in the back was growing because I used to, as you know, cut the back of my
Oh
hair.
yeah, yeah,
So it's starting to grow. So I said, let me put that away for somebody who's talking about my dread fell out.
yeah.
Like, no idiot.
So yeah, I sent her email just to tell her how much of a difference she made in my life and how some of the things I still remember and I still can stand on because of what she taught us. And like I said, she didn't respond to the inbox that I sent her, but it's the point. I don't know what she's going through and what that meant to her when I sent her that, but it's just the fact that I did. So, sometimes it just takes a few minutes to let somebody know that you appreciate them and appreciate what they do because we have so many negative external forces when we just walk out of the house and sometimes when we walk in them, depending on your situations. So
Mhm.
we need to be mindful of that you don't know if someone's holding on or thinking about taking their life and your words could change those thoughts. So that's something that we definitely need to be thinking about because not everyone who's on the edge is going to look like it.
Do I really think that we are conditioned to hate ourselves? Um, y- uh, yeah, I mean, I think so. Of course, when I say this, everybody always gives me the side eye. But when I say this in circles, that people are like, oh, slavery, you bring that up again? Yes, but slavery has taught us to hate ourselves, and we have taken that from slavery to
No,
civil.
she said, "Hey Jesus."
Hey, Jesus.
I mean, she said I meant hey Jesus.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Jesus. Oh, you meant hate Jesus. Oh no, I mean,
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was two different people. I'm sorry.
yeah, two different people.
I
I'm like, what are you talking about?
was lost
Hate, our,
right
hate ourselves. Yeah, I think it's slavery. I think I think slavery has taught us to hate ourselves, and we have not broken those chains. We are still enslaved.
there. Right.
We are enslaved mentally. We hate ourselves. We do. We don't like to see the next person make it. We don't like to see the next person achieve. Not all of us, but some of us
That's
really
true.
do. We
That's
don't.
true.
The next person starts to make it or starts to surpass. We don't celebrate. We attack to make sure
Right.
you come back down to where I'm at.
Right. Crabs in a barrel.
Yeah, that thing. But at the end of the day, the crabs in the barrel are pulling each other down not because they all want to remain in the barrel. They're trying to get out.
Right. So if
So,
you're trying to get out, why not hold the other person's hand and pipe each other out of there?
right, right. So it's a very much a slave mentality, and we need to start really going in and really kind of
Right.
breaking that breeder mentality down. That oh, because you choose to love something outside of something that can procreate physically, that it is totally disgusting and not right. Throughout history, there have been relationships of that magnitude. This just did not start. We
Right.
just didn't wake up and was like, "Oh, this is going on right now." This all has been happening before. It's just that what's introduced to all this is technology, videos, photos, all this other different type of stuff. But all this stuff has been going on since the ages. So I think that once we need to start educating ourselves on things, that we act like they just popped up out of nowhere. Two, we need to start breaking down the actual the mindset of how we think and how we
Hmm.
there is no, you know, just because somebody chooses not to procreate, it don't make them a bad person. It does not make them horrible. There are people that unfortunately cannot. Does that
Right.
make them less than, even if they are married and whatever? It doesn't. There needs to be a reprogramming. I mean, seriously, and
Yeah.
we don't need to be so militant. Like, oh no, you got to be straight this and this and this because this is the only way I'm gonna include you in. No, we have to include each other. We have to start
Right.
including all of us. We can't leave
Right.
some of us out because they don't look like or act like or whatever. Like no, they wasn't excluding us when they brought us our behinds over here. So why must we now exclude each other? Because
Right.
they surely didn't. If they snatched you up, they snatched you up, and you were snatched up by your own people.
Right. Right.
If they weren't coming in the inland, they were not coming in to take you because they didn't know nothing about it. So why would they come in to come get you? No, they got your brothers and your sisters to come kidnap you and bring you outward so then they can snatch you up. And it's the same kind of mentality that we're still doing.
Right. Right.
But that's enough. I'm off my soapbox. I don't know if anybody else had a question, but I will run through this real quick. Yeah, we definitely do need a reprogramming.
Yes. Petty said, I guess I'm going to holiday and procreate. Don't do not let anybody project what they think you should do onto you at all. And I
Oh,
know you're not, but I'm just saying, you can't condemn someone because that's where your thought process is. If that's where your thoughts lie, then you keep that to yourself. You either you offer your opinion to educate, or you offer information to be educated or to educate. Anything else is pointless.
yeah. I just want to say this because word punitive damages and all that was a good question. There's a book called A Dream and a Nightmare, excuse me, by James H. Cohen, and it talks about how Martin Luther King's dream and Malcolm X, they kind of later on in life switched ideologies, and one's dream became the other one's nightmare.
Mm,
And in the book, they also talk about Martin Luther King and his whole have a dream and including white people in to kind of help fight for the rights to vote and all this other kind of things for black people.
hmm
Now, and at first he was for it because they were for it. All right. But it came to a point where in which there's still more needed to be done. And what some of them do, because they still do it, they'll talk about how injustice is, but they will only go but so far. They
Right.
felt that it was enough. We made it. You got what you wanted. It's enough. Why can't you just be happy with where we're at and what this is?
Yeah.
He didn't want to do that. So then he started to be like, whoa, did I make a mistake?
hmm
What did I open my people up to? Because
Yeah.
again, separate but equal.
Right.
A lot of people didn't mind it being separate. They just wanted the equal as far as equal, schooling facilities,
hmm
books, and all those things. Because remember, we were generating our own money in our own communities, and everything was pretty much on the up and up. The
Right.
only thing that was suffering was the schooling system.
Right.
Because a lot of the students that went away to school, they came right back and taught whatever they learned to to the younger generation, but they did not have the facilities to do it. So you had kindergartners and 12th graders all in one building.
hmm
You didn't have it like you did at the white schools. And then the books were, I mean, come on. Some of them teachers, when they graduated, they brought their books to the schools when they taught and used those to teach their kids
Right.
because the textbooks were so poor. So it was more of a thing of getting equality through materials and education and stuff like that than it was, oh, we want to come to your school, we want to come in your neighborhoods. That not so much. But when it got to there, it kind of ballooned out of control.
Yeah.
And then white folks were like, you got enough. You did. I mean, they do it now when they mention Obama. Well, you had a black president. You got a black president. What's that supposed to mean?
Right.
What's that supposed to mean? How many presidents have we had? 45.
Right.
And not to mention, he's the only known black one.
Right.
There's some more that will possibly be black, but you'll know that on my We the People. I'm not giving that away. That's
Okay.
my We the People Black History Month. But yeah, so there are some maybe possibly could have been their parents or one of their parents were of a mulatto race kind of thing, but they passed as white, so they just went as white. But yeah, it was quite interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But enough of me talking. If you have anything else you say, we've been on here for like an hour and 24 minutes, and then
No, I have shed my light for tonight, and it's been great, guys. Thank you so much for coming through for us and supporting us and allowing us to bless you with this politics and wellness here tonight.
yeah, uh, I love to read the Quran and the Bible and more related religion. Try to listen to modern version. Yeah, true. I mean, read. I got just to hop on your thing. Read the Heart of Philadelphia. When I went to college, I immersed myself in Intro to Religion, and from there, I took almost every religion course ever. And when I came back home, I felt a whole different type of way. Mom was like, "Oh, you're different," and it was just that I started to realize that we all kind of do the same thing, just in a different way. And
Exactly.
I didn't fall in line with the systematic way of religion.
Right.
And I think the same thing opened up. And it's not about even going to college or school or anything like that. It's just read more, get yourself more involved in other things, read about other cultures, explore. That's the only, and you learn and you grow that way. It's not all
Yeah.
about a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. It's about the education because when you know about something, can't nobody steer you the wrong way. So it's about educating yourself. You know, I myself have also taken a few religion courses, and it does give you a different outlook. It gives you different material to go on and the whole background of things. And you'll see that, like Cap said, we do a lot of the same things, just for different reasons and different ways to ultimately get to the point of feeling free.
Mhm. Yep.
Thank you so much, Punitive. I appreciate you.
Yes. But anyway, like I said, do you have any final words before we close out?
No, I was closing out before and then you started again,
Oh, I'm
so I'm
sorry.
gonna let you close out and then so when it's over, it'll be over.
Right. Okay. I ain't gonna look at nobody's question. If you have another question, just email it to me or write it in the comments, and I'll talk to you later.
Yes, and
Um,
feel free to email me or whatever you need to do to reach out to me as well, and I'll be more than glad to get back to you.
yeah. But thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by, for engaging, for all the content creators. Thank you for coming by again. Anybody in here who is searching for somebody to watch and pay attention, there are tons of people in here that you can really learn a lot from, and grow from. Yeah, they have their moments where funny, a little messy, but
Right.
definitely overall, always dropping knowledge, always positive. Um, and I'm here for it. So
Yes.
you said, wait, what? Wait, what? Punitive damage. But anyway, again, thanks so much for coming. God bless and good night, in the words of Russell Simmons. Um, and if you missed it, catch it on the fly. And
Yes. Thanks everybody. Hope you guys have a good night and a good rest of the week.
peace.
Peace.